There was a time not so long ago when people actually wound their clocks at night. That was then. This is now.
6:32 a.m.
Used to be, people stopped at payphones to make calls. That was then. This is now. Used to be, data centers had to spend an excessive amount of time recovering DB2 data while users waited for important information. That was then. This is now. Recover Plus from BMC Software delivers a new way to recover DB2 indexes and table spaces. It not only reduces downtime in recovery situations, it also provides an opportunity to plan and prepare for the recovery process. If you're asking yourself,
why should I be concerned about that? The DB2 recovery utility will recover my data. And besides, nothing like that has ever happened here.
Point number one, failures can and do happen. Many shops have already experienced application failures, device or channel failures, as well as failure in the DB2 subsystem itself. Like any other unexpected emergency, it could happen, but not all shops have a plan for dealing with that prospect. Point number two, as DB2 usage grows, more complex applications, more mission-critical applications, and larger data stores are being put under DB2. As this happens, data availability is becoming more and more crucial. If you haven't yet felt pressure to ensure that DB2 data gets back online as fast as possible, it probably won't be long before you do. Pressure or not, the fact is the DB2 recovery utility is just plain slow. If you've tested a recovery scenario, or if you've actually had to perform a recovery, you know how long it can take with the standard utility. Here's an example of what could happen. One shop in which DB2 use is growing rapidly lost a disk controller and a significant part of their DB2 data. They had about 500 table spaces, 4 active logs, took daily image copies, and created 20 archive tapes each day. The unexpected failure damaged 10 table spaces and 18 indexes. 4 of the table spaces had 17 to 24 partitions and 15 to 75 million rows. Using the standard DB2 recovery utility, the restore phase took about 15 minutes, and log apply for a day's log took about 2 hours. One table space that hadn't been copied for a week took 17 hours and 180 tapes. This recovery failed after 15 hours, and restart took them back to the beginning of log apply for another 15 hours. The remaining objects were recovered in 12 hours. Index recovery was equally painful. One non-clustering index over a partition table space took over 3 hours to recover. In the final analysis, table space recovery took 48 hours, and the indexes took about 24 hours. All in all, a 72-hour effort. Now, your own recovery time might be shorter, or it might be longer. With the DB2 utility, no one really knows for certain until it actually happens. Can your users afford to be without DB2 data for 72 hours? Can the DB2 utility give you any kind of predictability? Can it provide any kind of guarantees for service level agreements? Is it a concern? And if it's not a concern today, will it become a concern as DB2 usage grows? Data centers all over the world are telling us, yes, it is. The plain truth is that the DB2 recovery utility won't be satisfactory as users come to depend more and more on DB2. With the DB2 recovery utility, you have no choices. The preset pattern is this. The utility does a standard merge of a full copy and an incremental copy, and lays down an image of the table space. Then it goes into a log apply phase, where it reads the active and archive log, extracts the log records it needs, and randomly applies those logs to the table space it just created. The random process causes the utility to be slow and unpredictable. And because pages might be updated multiple times, I/O is expended redundantly. With the DB2 utility, restore and log apply must run together in the same job step. You can't restore a table space in one step, then apply the log in another. And if you have partition table spaces, well, that becomes a real problem. There's no way partitions can be recovered in parallel, so the DB2 utility reads one space at a time, which is very inefficient and time-consuming. And index recovery has just as many problems. Even if the DB2 recover utility has just recovered the table space, it must read the table space data again. Then it extracts the keys, sends them to a work data set, then rereads those keys off the data set and sorts them. Finally, it goes into a build phase where the index is created. So what's wrong with that? Well, first, you don't have the option to tell the utility not to write the key read pairs to a work data set. That's just the way it is. And second, the table space has to be read again after it's already been recovered in order to extract the data keys. It's a redundant operation that wastes time and I/O. And if you have non-clustering indexes on partition table spaces, the DB2 recover utility reads and unloads the partitions serially. Think of the time this takes. In fact, some shops aren't permitted to develop non-clustering indexes on large partition table spaces because the time to recover them with the DB2 recovery utility is prohibitive. But that can all change with Recover Plus from BMC Software. Using an example of an application failure, let's say you need to recover a table space and an index. With Recover Plus, you can now accomplish both recoveries concurrently without multiple passes of the table space. Recover Plus first reads all the active and archive logs needed, then extracts the necessary log records. If you've specified the log sort option, Recover Plus will sort the log records by table space, page number, and RBA. Then it will invoke a merge routine where it takes a full copy, an incremental copy, and the sorted log as input and merges them into a current table space image. Recover Plus builds each page only once in memory, and when it sees the page in its final form, Recover Plus also extracts the keys for the index build at the same time. All these operations are done concurrently. Yes, Recover Plus can recover table spaces and indexes without using the log sort option, but log sort is a real time saver. The sequential one-time pass-through of the table space pages is a much more efficient process than the random log apply method used by the standard DB2 utility. As it turns out, the sort process takes very little time when compared to the multiple random reads and writes of the IBM-provided utility. Additionally, Recover Plus offers many other features that give you greater flexibility in your recovery operation. For example, when you specify log sort, you can also make one or two copies while recovering a table space. One, both, or none can be registered. This decreases the amount of time to get a table space back online, especially when performing a partial recovery. Another real time saver is the ability of Recover Plus to extract index keys during table space recovery. So Recover Plus doesn't have to reread a table space in order to recover an index. And recovery time can be improved even more by specifying the No Work DDN option. With No Work DDN, the extracted keys are sent directly to sort without first writing the keys to a work data set. Therefore, the recovery runs faster because there's less I/O to write and read the keys. For even more flexibility, Recover Plus also allows you to apply the log as a separate job. The log apply only feature is useful when another job has already restored the table space or when registered copies are unavailable. If your backup strategy includes full volume backups, this feature will be very helpful to you. It can also prove beneficial as part of your disaster recovery plan. Here's how it works. Log apply only skips the restore phase and goes directly to the log apply phase. It begins with the from RBA specification for the table space, reads the log, and applies the changes to the table space. This feature, too, gives you more control over the entire backup and recovery process. For those of you who haven't been allowed to build non-clustering indexes across partition table spaces, and for those of you who are concerned about the amount of time it'll take to recover such indexes, you'll be glad to know that Recover Plus addresses these problems with two new features. These features allow concurrent index key extractions from multiple partitions. Now you can submit multiple jobs concurrently to extract the keys from the partitions. Then you can set up a single job to build the non-clustering index, and the whole operation takes less time than a single job that reads all the partitions serially. Recover Plus can also recover multiple partitions of a partition table space concurrently in separate jobs. Its ability to speed up the recovery of partition table spaces and non-clustering indexes gives you the opportunity to utilize all of DB2's features. Recover Plus also gives you more control and predictability over the recovery process by providing enhanced restart capabilities. During the log apply phase of a conventional recovery, Recover Plus provides sync points to allow a failed job to be restarted without reallocating and processing all the required logs. Not only does this provide an element of control and predictability in your total recovery time, it also reduces elapsed time during restart. Another new feature provided by Recover Plus allows users to preview their recovery activities before actually executing the recovery. The Analyze option reports information about image copy data sets, log data sets, log ranges used for recovery, record sizes for work files, and index sorts. Users can specify Analyze Yes, Analyze No, or Analyze Only. Many customers will use the Analyze Only feature to help plan, practice, and confirm recovery strategies. And during an actual recovery, the statistics from Analyze Only can help you accurately allocate space and estimate time before actually executing the recovery. To optimize the recovery process, Recover Plus for DB2 also analyzes all input commands prior to processing. It considers all the requests in the input data set and uses the most efficient technique for recovering all the options. And by executing all its jobs outside of the DB2 subsystem, it avoids any impact on buffer pools, reduces interference with DB2 applications, and decreases contention for DB2 resources. So not only does Recover Plus run faster and smarter, it also operates at less cost. But why take my word for it? Let's look at some benchmark test results to see the actual savings. In this comparison, one table space and two indexes, one clustering and one non-clustering, were recovered simultaneously from one full and one incremental copy. There were 210,475 log records to apply. No output copies were taken. We used the log sort and no work DDN features offered by Recover Plus. Using the DB2 Recover utility, recovery took 2 hours and 22 minutes. Recover Plus significantly decreased this time to just over 35 minutes. CPU time saved was just as dramatic. The DB2 Recover utility required 22 minutes 56 seconds, while Recover Plus took just 5 minutes 34 seconds. In all the benchmark tests, Recover Plus recovered DB2 objects 2 to 8 times faster than the DB2 utility. And it's even faster than that when large numbers of log records have to be applied. Recover Plus also allows you to take advantage of more efficient backup strategies. Log sort allows at most one incremental copy. So if your current backup strategy involves taking multiple incremental copies, consider using BMC's Copy Plus. It optionally merges incremental copies, so there's only one incremental copy to process during recovery. Using Recover Plus and Copy Plus together makes a lot of sense. Recover Plus allows you to decrease the frequency of your image copies, while Copy Plus gives you a non-intrusive and faster way to run them. By using Recover Plus, you can even consider using volume backups as the basis for your disaster recovery plan, since Recover Plus can recover table spaces from an arbitrary RBA in the log. You can see that Recover Plus has many advantages unavailable from any other utility. And That's why things are going to be different from now on. Recover Plus from BMC Software is changing the way people think about DB2 recovery. You wouldn't expect anything less from one of the industry's premier system software companies. After all, we've been developing recovery strategies across all the major MVS subsystems for years. BMC's innovative technologies for recovery encompass IMS, CICS, vSAN, and now BMC continues to redefine the limits with Recover Plus for DB2. Call us today for a no-obligation 30-day plus free trial of Recover Plus to use in your DB2 production environment and see what a difference it can make in your recovery strategies. BMC Software, the experience and the technology for the future.